Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts, and today we're looking into the Baratza Sette range of coffee grinders. So the Sette, they come in three variants, the 30, 270 and 270 WI. And as much as there's a lot of similarities, they're also quite different, mainly in terms of the workflow and how you use them. Obviously, they're the same body. With the AP30, when it comes to dialing in your coffee, you got 30 macro adjustments to really dial in that coffee. But as you move into the 270 range, that's when things change. When dialing in your coffee, you got 30 macro and 9 micro, which gives you a total of 270 notches to dial in that coffee. And when you're looking at espresso, that makes a big difference. Also, on the 30, the collar here is made out of plastic. When on the 70s, they're made out of aluminium. But they are using across the range the same 40mm steel burr made by Etzinger, known as the S1. You can order as an accessory an S2 cone, which is really easy to change. You can change the blades on these machines without tools within a minute. To do that, you literally pull this apart. You just go coarser all the way and it comes down. So for the 30, that's it. And then for the 270s, although the blades are the same, the S1s, here you can clearly notice the difference between the plastic casing and the aluminium casing. And obviously that's just a standard casing, and on this one, you have the micro adjustment on the bottom. As the collar comes out really easily, you can also take out the hopper just by turning and pulling it up, and now you can clean the grinder straight through really easy. And that's a feature of the Baratza, because with the Baratza grinder, it's actually the external blade that's grinding and moving, and the internal blade is staying stationary. So you've got the motor moving the external blade, so that's actually a really clear passage. Not only is it easier to clean, but it means that when you are grinding coffee, it's a vertical movement straight through from the hopper to the portafilter with very minimal retention. While we have the hoppers apart, that's also another little feature or change between the 30 and the 270s. On the 270s, the open and close here on the hopper is made out of aluminium, while on the 30s it is a plastic lever. They're only small but minor details. Locking it back together, you just push it in, turn it, obviously open and close. And with the collar here, you line up the blue marker with the blue side on that side, just get it in. When you push it up, just turn it back and you're back. So you can pull off the hopper and you can pull off the dosage collar, give it a really easy, quick clean, or even change out the internal cone from an S1 to an S2, all without any tools. We're just gonna lock this one back in as well. Pushing it in, giving it a turn, and we're back in. Another difference is how you use the grinders. On the 30, you got 30 notches of change. When the 270, you have 270. But the activating of the grind also changes. On the 30s, you got a start and stop operation. So you start, you watch by eye, and when you think it's enough coffee, you stop it. Possibly even top it up and stop it again. And the portafilter support does not hold the portafilter. You have to be holding the portafilter there. To change between a portafilter and just say a container, you have to pull out the sleeves and put them back in, just like that. And obviously we're going to return it just to put that portafilter in. And putting in the portafilter, when you are grinding, you have to hold it. With the 270s, the portafilter's held in place, so it's a hands-free operation. You can, in this case, we've got it in a container stand. You can push in one of the side arms, bring it down, you go in your portafilter, you can bring across the portafilter support. And you can just put in your portafilter and it will hold while you grind. And in this case, on the 270, it's going to grind based on time. You got 3 predetermined settings, so 1, 2, or 3. And within one, you can just go up and down quite easily on the time. Just say you did change the time, then you just hold the button so it flashes, and now you've got a new time set. You can press 1, 2, or 3, and then hit start, and it will automatically do it for you while the portafilter is being held. On the 270 WI, it's going to grind based on weight. When you do put in the handle, it's got an Akaya load cell, and it's going to tar the handle to know the weight. And then once again, you got 3 settings. So 1, 2, or 3 with predetermined times. In this case, we've got 18 grams, 25 grams, we've got 55 grams if you're doing a lot more coffee to say for a pour over situation. And that's gonna grind based on time. Now, one thing to note, although these grinders are fast with very minimal retention, that's a beautiful side, they are quite noisy. For them to be able to do what they do and keep the price low, they've compromised on two things. The body, which is plastic, compared to other machines in this price point having metal solid bodies, and the noise. It is a bit noisier than other machines at comparable price points. But the retention on these and the fluffiness of the grind and the very low mess, as they do grind really beautifully straight into the portafilter, really is unique. Now, we have done a video on each one in which we grind in them and you see the operational workflow on each grinder individually. So to summarize, we have the Sette 30, 270 and 270 WI. They all use the same S1 40mm steel conical burr from Etzinger. On the Sette 30, you start and stop operation. You have to hold your portafilter, and to change from portafilter to another method like this, it's a little bit more work. And you really, the dial in is more if you want a grinder to say to marry up with your Gadget Classic or Ranchilla Silvia. If you did use a machine that's a heat exchange or twin boiler machine, a bit more up there, you do want the 270s, whether it's 270 or WI, in that you do get those extra notches. So now you've got 270 movements, and that movement does make a difference. So they're not stepless, they're still stepped. Because you got so many notches, it's actually really nice that you can go back to a notch. Makes it really a lot easier to change between brew methods. It holds the portafilter in nice, and it really does move easily between that. And you've got a little bit more finish to the machine. The aluminium collar, the aluminium on that hopper. But the other thing is the workflow, the 3-time setting. So once you've dialed it in and use the scale to really weigh and get it right, you can just have those time settings and grind away. Obviously, as you change your grind, it will change the time slightly, or the grind bar weight. The beauty part of that is because it's now the WI, so the weight with intelligent, the early model was only W, only weight. If you do adjust the grind, and when it grinds, it finds it's a bit more or a bit less in the portafilter, it will intelligently update itself to try and get the right dose on the next grind. So that's the range. We have done an individual video, so click through to each one to really get to know them individually. So let me know in the comments below, which Baratza do you have or which Baratza are you looking at? And like always, if this video has brought you value, hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Thank you, and see you on the next video.